Well, there is a battle brewing on the Indianapolis burger scene, but it's all for a good cause, to promote quality education for kids in Uganda. Now, this is the 8th year for the nonprofit Building Tomorrow's Indy Burger Battle. And with more on the event and how you can get involved, and importantly, more about the organization, pleased to be joined by Building Tomorrow founder George Srour. And George, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
George, before we get to the burger battle, a tasty video we saw coming in there, let's talk about Building Tomorrow, a nonprofit based here in Indianapolis that has been around now since 2006 and has made an incredible impact in Uganda in terms of education. Talk about your nonprofit, why you put it together, and the impact that it's had.
Sure. Well, I had the chance to serve as an intern with Jim Morris when he was at the World Food Program, and really saw the power that food had in bringing kids to school. And so left college and decided that this was something that would be fun to do. Launched Building Tomorrow, and here we are 14 years later. We've been very fortunate through our time. We've built over 80 schools,
Wow.
and we work with over 120,000 kids each day. And we have a lot more to do, especially in light of what's happening in the world these days.
That is just amazing impact. And you talk about what's going on in the world these days, the COVID-19 pandemic, and I know you've launched a Tomorrow Is Now program, which is directly targeted to the pandemic, right? Exactly,
yeah. There's, the world is facing a pretty significant a cliff, and we're about to see huge numbers of out-of-school children. We have directly enrolled 55,000 out-of-school kids in the last 5 years at Building Tomorrow, and we know that we're going to have our hands really sort of full with the number of kids who have fallen out of the system as a result of school being basically closed since March.
Yeah. I mentioned this Indy Burger Battle. This is the 8th year for it, and again, raises important funds for your organization. Talk about this year, because of the pandemic, you're really expanding it. It used to be a one-day event. Now you've got a passport event that's going to stretch over 10 days, right?
Yeah, so this year is a little bit different. We used to have an afternoon where we, last year, had over 1,100 people come together and sample burgers from different restaurants from around town. This year, we're going to change it up a bit, and we're going to send people out to the restaurants themselves over a 10-day period starting today through August 9th, and have a chance to sample burgers from some of Indy's best.
Yeah, and again, this is a way to give back to the restaurants as well who've suffered during the pandemic by making this a 10-day event and stretching it out a bit.
Exactly, and they're game for carryout or having you come and dine in. It's a pretty simple process, and at the end of it all, we'll collect people's votes and see who again has the best burger in Indianapolis.
That's great. Okay, and again, the Indy Burger Battle, information on that can be found online as well. Goes to a great cause. George, as we wrap up, 30 seconds left, but as you look at what's next, getting through the pandemic here and your impact on the education in Uganda and beyond, where do you see that going?
You know, I think we have a really tremendous opportunity right now. I think for a long time, education had been sort of chronically underfunded and sort of disregarded, but we're realizing now the importance of making sure that kids are in school. We know, even from what's happening here in our own backyard in Indianapolis, that it's important for kids to be in school. And we're poised, I think, with the experience that we have as an organization to make a significant difference in the long term.
George Srour is the founder of Building Tomorrow, and the Indy Burger Battle is a big event coming up. Great one to support. George, thanks for being here, and thanks for all you do as well.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right.